What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to go through a little bit behind my thought process and creating a practice ground for you to practice on. Now, you might say, well, there's already a putting green and a chipping area and a driving range, so why wouldn't I want to just use that? So, the big thing for me is if I have a giant flat area, then I know that everything is true to its distance, right? There's no elevation, there's no wind, because in a practice area, the big thing that you have to remember is you can up the firmness, you can up the green speed, but you can also modify your tee boxes to raise them or lower them, and you can set the wind. Now, you can't refine the wind to an exact mile per hour to check it out, but you can change the direction and you can change the wind range, low, medium, high, etc. So creating your own practice ground gives you a really great place to really start to refine, figuring out how far exactly your clubs carry in different winds, different elevations, and different combinations of the two. So that being said, we're going to hop in how to create one of these. And hopefully, as a non-designer myself, I can make this as simple as possible for you guys to create your own. So just go in. You're going to want to set yourself a course name. The default theme is completely fine. For terrain, you're just going to want to go in and set all of your sliders to 0. And then for layout, you're also going to want to set all of your sliders to 0, except for the green size. I don't know if the green size actually matters, but I'm making myself a jumbo green, so I want the green size to be set as large as possible here just in case. So after that, we're just going to jump right on into the next spot, which is the actual creation of the surface. So we're going to want to do a lot of landscaping. And so first thing is I'm going to make a pretty sizable area here to work with. You want to give yourself enough room so that you can take any club, including your driver, right? So with that, we're gonna give this a nice little raise. Just get it a good ways off the ground. Doesn't really matter how high. You basically just want to remove water from play, especially because if you want to do big elevation changes in your testing, then you might want to raise this even higher, right? So that way that you can make your lower one go lower. If you keep it completely on the ground, well, then you're just going to dig yourself into a hole, and then you can't really test elevation going up. So I'm going to put this way up here at 80 feet. It's going to look a bit ridiculous, and I probably don't need that much, but I'd rather give myself too much than not enough. The next step here is to give this whole area a nice big couple of landscape flattens, just to make sure that we've got as flat of a surface as possible. And then we should be able to go in and create ourselves a nice big green. Now, I don't know if path width matters for this, so designer people, I'm sorry if I'm completely butchering your designer here, but this is a simple man's tutorial. So now that we've got a big old green, we can go ahead and create the hole itself. So if we jump back to the front of the edit holes menu, we can edit the hole. Now, just want to drop a tee box somewhere back here is probably good enough. Give ourselves a waypoint, and then I know that drivers can go upwards of 300 yards, so we're going to put the pin pretty far out here and just drop it somewhere out in the center of the green. So now as the quick check is you just go over to playtest and you can hit play hole number 1, and we can see that this is a giant flat surface. So if I take my driver and we send it down here, we can see that this is completely flat, which is exactly what we want, right? Now the big thing about this is do not publish this course, because that removes all of the value that it holds. And the reason for that is you can rewind shots if it is an unpublished course. So if I want to test into a specific wind, the elevation off that tee box, well, I can just go back and rewind my shot and do it as many times, as I need to. If I were to publish this course, well, then every time that I want to retest something, I have to declare I'm playable, and I can only go back to the tee box so many times before it takes me off the course. So for me, this is a really great way to go ahead and do that. Now, you can add other tee boxes if you want to raise and lower, and so I'll let people do that on their own. I'm not gonna walk through that. But the last little bit of info I want to share with you guys is it's a little tip that I like, and that is creating a wall that is perfectly in line with the hole and the middle of the tee box where you're teeing off. And the reason for that is then I can tell if I turn tempo off or I'm trusting my tempo, that if I hit a straight shot, that I'm maybe reading the wind correctly, right? So if I want to go in and I want to set a wind that's perpendicular, and I've been really struggling with my approaches, right? I can turn the difficulty down, give myself a nice big swing plane area, and I can turn the tempo off, and I can give myself true reference of just the wind in play, because I have a flat area and I have the wind the way that I want to figure out where I'm at with it. And so then you can use the wall as kind of a true reference, because obviously the pin is hundreds of yards away, so you're not going to be able to just figure out exactly if you're straight. But if you have a wall built, then you can. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build a wall, and then we will fast forward our way to the end of this. So now I have a line that is completely straight. So I can tell. So say I'm on master swing difficulty. So I know that my line is very narrow, and I want to test how much is my swing plane effect. Or actually, let's go back to the example that we had before. We're going to set this to let's go just to beginner, and swing timing is off. And then let's go back so that we can edit this for true fashion here. So let's say we've got high winds and I'm really struggling on high winds. Well, I can set the wind to a random direction, and I know that I've nullified all of my other variables. So then I can go here and be like, okay, well, I think 13 miles an hour of wind on my 5-iron, I need to play here. And then this gives you a perfect way to check yourself against that. So I know, okay, that was an overread by a few yards. But you can go and you can continue to practice and try different wind combinations, different clubs, and really give yourself the best opportunity to practice, in my opinion, in a very precise manner. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you all for watching. If you made it to the end of the video here, please consider subscribing to the channel and following us over on Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next video.